In New York, this afternoon was the deadline for all city workers to get at least one vaccine dose or go on unpaid leave. It could mean several thousand officers may be on leave as early as Monday. As John Yang reports, in New York and other cities around the country, some of the loudest opposition voices belong to police union officials.
The people will not comply.
Carrying signs reading "My body, my choice" and "No vaccine mandate," thousands of people, including New York police and firefighters, marched across the Brooklyn Bridge this week to protest the city's directive.
Today is a day in which we, the workers of this great city, stand up to unreasonable mandates.
The mandate is one of the most aggressive in the nation. Mayor Bill de Blasio.
If you're a city worker, you need to be vaccinated. We are here to keep you safe so you can keep everyone else safe. We need you to keep everyone around you in the workplace safe. We need you to make sure that people who you encounter, the people of this city, the residents of this city, are safe.
Most New York City municipal workers are getting vaccinated, with the pace picking up as today's deadline neared. Today, officials said 71% of fire department workers and 80% of police employees have gotten at least one dose. But the city's biggest police union continues to resist and is in court trying to block the mandate, calling it coercive and the threat of unpaid leave for not complying arbitrary and capricious. It prefers an earlier plan calling for weekly testing. City and state officials are making contingency plans for possible staffing shortfalls on Monday, the first day the leaves would take effect. In cities like Seattle, San Diego, and Los Angeles, police unions have urged members to resist vaccine requirements, even though COVID has killed about 500 law enforcement officers nationwide since the pandemic began. That's more than all other causes of death combined.
We have a way to prevent those cops from dying, and it's been tested.
Former Boston police official Chuck Wexler is executive director of the Police Executive Research Forum, a policy development group.
Look, if they were getting shot or stabbed on the streets of America at the rate they're dying of COVID, there would be outrage. But instead, somehow this issue has become politicized.
The clash over vaccine mandates comes as police are under increasing scrutiny with a nationwide spike in the murder rate and incidents like the death of George Floyd. In many big cities, that's led to tense relations between elected leaders and police unions. In few places is it as bitter as it is in Chicago, where the mayor and the police union president have long been at odds. In August, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, elected on a pledge of police reform, ordered all city workers to report their vaccination status by October 15th or go on unpaid leave.
We're going to keep fighting this mandate and this dictatorship.
Police Union President John Catanzara took to social media to urge disobedience.
Do not comply with any direct order to fill out the portal, period. It is illegal. They cannot do it.
The mayor called the position foolish.
Unfortunately, that's in keeping with the leadership of this Fraternal Order of Police.
By the deadline, almost a third of the city's more than 12,000 officers had not complied.
For the first time in my 21-year career, I disobeyed a direct order. This is very stressful for these officers, for myself. And, it seems that the city doesn't care.
But as union protesters gathered at City Hall this week, the city is giving most of them another chance. Only 27 officers have been placed on unpaid leave. The union president warns of the possibility of scores of police off the job.
I don't know how the mayor in good conscience can force this to go forward and risk sending half the police department home and subjecting the citizens of this city to that.
What I have concerns about is seeing more officers die needlessly of COVID-19. Again, you're all aware, we had 4 officers who passed away in 2020, every single one of them from COVID-19.
Catanzara says the issue isn't vaccines, it's what job requirements should be determined by negotiations. That puts officers in the middle, says Chuck Wexler of the Police Executive Research Forum.
Labor's saying, wait a second, not so fast. We have collective bargaining agreements. You want us to get vaccinated? Fine. Let's sit down and bargain for it.
and some say it could be putting public health in jeopardy. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm John Yang.